Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sabrina and today I have a high protein mango ice cream recipe for you. And it is 250 calories and 26 grams of protein. And I think it really has the texture, the flavor, all the creaminess, deliciousness of ice cream, but it's going to be such a functional, high protein treat. So anyway, obviously I'm excited about this recipe. Let's get into it. Before we do, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. All right, let's make a Ninja Creami. All right, so I think there are kind of two main ways to make a creamy. You can just make everything in your little creamy pot, or you can put it into a blender and make sure it's all pulverized and incorporated that way. And how I like to decide which is kind of how many ingredients and how well do I think my very precious creamy will be able to get through those ingredients. Now, mangoes are super soft, so I'm not too worried about blending them up beforehand. If you are at all concerned, put all of this into your little blender cup, blend it up, and get it into your creamy machine. If you're doing it this way, what I like to do is start with my liquid and my powders, blend that up, and then just stir in my fruit. So that's the method I'm going to be using today. And for this recipe and all of my creamy recipes, I make them for one because I don't like to share my ice cream. I just feel like that invites problems into your life. So for this recipe, I'm going to be using 2/3 a cup of this milk. And you can use any milk of choice. Obviously, that's going to impact the macros. But for my macros, I'm using this 2% reduced fat ultra filtered milk. And if you're saying, this container looks a bit familiar to something I've seen before, this is the Fairlife milk knockoff. They've just introduced it at my Aldi. In fact, I can't find the Fairlife milk there anymore. They have this instead, which is fine. It tastes delicious and it's really wonderful. And part of the reason people use it so much is because of the macros. So it's 120 calories for 1 cup, but 14 grams of protein. So that is pretty great. And also having a little bit of fat, honestly, isn't going to hurt your creamy. It's going to make it even smoother and more delicious. So I find this works really well for creamies. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing 2/3 of a cup. So that is 120 ml. I like to be precise. I'm a baker, so I'm always measuring everything out. Now to that, I'm going to add 2/3 of a scoop of vanilla protein powder, and you can use any brand you like. I really like PE Science. I think it blends well. I think it tastes delicious. Not sponsored. I just really, really like it. So 2/3 of a scoop. And again, this recipe is for achieving the macros I want, which for this is 250 calories, 26 grams of protein. So if you're like, Sabrina, this is annoying, I just want to add a scoop of protein, that's fine. Go for it. It's not going to hurt the creamy. It's just going to change the macros a little bit. Have a little bit more protein, more calories. So it's all just what you need in a day. All right, I've got my 20 grams in here, and now I'm gonna add this sugar-free, fat-free pudding mix. I know people use this a lot in creamies. Sometimes they use xanthan gum. I use cottage cheese in some of my recipes. It's basically gonna help thicken up the creamy and really add to that lovely, delightful texture. So I'm using 4 grams. Now I mentioned when I'm doing it this way, I like to get my liquid in and then my powders because that allows me to then use a handheld whisker to just blend up these ingredients and they'll be nice and smooth and I don't really have to do a lot of work. Okay, now the last ingredient, of course, for our mango high protein creamy is going to be mango. So I have fresh mango that I used here. If you have frozen mango, that's fine too. I have 120 grams. If you're not sure how much that is, I'd recommend for this recipe, again, for my fresh mango is about 2/3 of the mango. But if you were using frozen mango, I'd say a little bit more than half a cup will probably do the trick, but you could add more if you like. Okay, I just stir this whole concoction together. And again, I'm not too worried about having this fresh fruit in here. I know my creamy can handle it. But for a different kind of fruit, maybe one that wasn't quite so soft, you might want to blend it all up. But this is looking great. All right, that's it. It was just 4 simple ingredients, super easy. You could add sweetener if you wanted, but I find because we have that sugar-free, fat-free pudding mix, you don't really need it in combination with a little bit of sweetness from the protein powder. But if you like it a little bit sweeter, feel free to go ahead and add some to your creamy. So now all that's left to do is stick this in the freezer and come back and see you tomorrow when we whiz up this delicious pot of mango ice cream. Okay, so we are back. It is 24 hours later, and a couple tips before you spin is I leave my pint out for 5 to 10 minutes just to let it defrost a little bit, and then you can run it under some hot water as well, and that's just going to make it faster when you're spinning. So let's get it in here, turn your machine on, and then we're just going to choose a light ice cream. Okay, it's just finished its first spin. And I expect it's gonna be cloudy and fluffy. It's actually not too bad. So what I usually do now is take a little mini spatula, just go around the edges, try and scrape the sides a bit. And then you can also put a little bit of liquid into the center. And I expect this will be done with one more spin, and it smells really good. Very strong, delicious mango. Okay, I think we're gonna be there. Yes, that is looking great. You can see all of that smooth texture. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. It looks so creamy. I'm just gonna get it into a bowl real quick. Kind of unnecessary, but wow, that looks good. Okay, here it is, my beautiful bowl of mango ice cream. I just had to take a taste and it is delicious. It really tastes like mango ice cream, except the entire pint is 250 calories and 26 grams of protein, which I think is just amazing. And I really hope you enjoy this one. I hope to see you in my next creamy recipe. Thanks so much. Bye.